There's only a certain amount of hours in a day, and you're super busy. Yet the person beside you always gets things done fast like the Flash, always before a deadline. You might think he's smart, but in reality, he's not telling you something. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about what he uses that you don't know. And this is the Pareto Principle. But before I tell you how you can do this, I'm gonna tell you what it is. So in the late 19th century, a person named Alfredo Pareto, he was an Italian economist, and he found the Pareto Principle. And what he discovered was that when he was looking at all the fields in Italy, he found an imbalance. He found that 80% of the land was owned by 20% of the people. And he was intrigued by this ratio and by this number. So he researched other places that might have the same thing. And to his surprise, that almost everything that you do in life equates to this ratio, the 80-20 ratio. Once again, the Pareto Principle is that 80% of the effect comes from 20% of the cause. You might still not believe me, but I'll tell you some examples to it. In business sales, 20% of the product generates 80% of the revenue. In productivity, 20% of the tasks gives you 80% of the results. In customer service, 20% of the customers cause 80% of the problems. And marketing, 20% of the ad campaigns brings 80% of the leads. And the last one, which there's many, is in learning, 20% of the books or the content you read gives you 80% of the knowledge. I'll tell you this once again. There's so many examples of this ratio. Yet, you have to look for it, and once you look for it, you'll realize that everything is the same. But I'll tell you one thing. But these ratios varies through situations. Some numbers might include like 10% of the effort equals 90% of the results, or 30% of the effort equals 70% of the results, etc. I'll tell you one disclaimer. This principle doesn't work for things that require equal amount of effort. Like, if you have to put stone on a wall, you can't just put 20% of the stone and that will look like 80% of the results. It won't work like that. So keep that in mind. So now on to how you can do this in your daily life. The first thing to do is identifying your goals. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, you won't find the solution. So you have to find what you want from all of this. If you want to work harder and get more results, you gotta write this down. The second step to it is finding a high impact task, like that 20% you have to do. The third is you gotta prioritize that over the other ones. The fourth is delegating the rest. And the fifth, reviewing it time to time, so you don't make mistakes. This is the Pareto Principle / the 80-20 rule. I hope you like this video and see you next time.